my name is Valerie Fenchel with Fenchel Family Law. I wanted to make this video to help people that are going through the analysis paralysis many of us go through in our head when we're not sure how to move forward. I help people get divorced. So a lot of people come into my office, they make consults because they want to know what's going to happen, what the roadmap is if they do decide to get divorced, what's that going to look like. And even though they're in my office for the consult, they haven't really made that decision sometimes to pull the trigger and actually get divorced. They're stuck in this analysis paralysis. Do I stay unhappy because I'm going to be financially taken care of? Do I stay unhappy because then my parents will still be proud of me? Do I stay unhappy because then my children won't have to come from a broken home and be raised in two households? How much is it going to take for me to decide that my happiness matters more than everything else? How long is it going to take for them to realize that if they're not happy, their children are going to sense it? Their whole family, their community is going to sense it. And if they're not happy, even if everybody else thinks the world of them, it doesn't really matter if you're unhappy, does it? So when people come in, how I help them figure out whether to stay in the relationship or not, I'm hoping will also help you. You may not know this, or maybe you do because you've seen other videos, but I actually called off my wedding last year. So I had to go through this whole analysis paralysis BS kind of stuff too, and it really sucked, but then by going through it, helped me figure out I was actually not in a good relationship. And this says nothing about the person who I was with, who's an amazing person and still continues to be, but we just weren't a good fit for each other. I came to realize that no matter how kind and loving and amazing a person is, they actually need to have specific qualities in order to be compatible with someone like me, because I'm not perfect. And so I think through this process, I really realized what those qualities were that I really needed and what wasn't a good fit for me. And it's a great exercise for anybody to do. What I found from being a divorce attorney is that most people don't think about this kind of stuff. I talk to my friends about it. I've talked to my clients. We don't spend as much time and energy worrying about choosing the right partner as we do about finding the right job or living in the right neighborhood, which is kind of crazy to me. And maybe it's just crazy because I'm a divorce attorney. So some things that you can do to make sure that you are in an actually happy relationship are some things that I did last year, and honestly things that I continue to do with new relationships. The one big thing is to start keeping a diary. Oftentimes when we're unhappy or depressed about something, we just believe it's going to get better, and then we kind of try to forget about it. We kind of push it down in ourselves. By keeping a diary of when you're unhappy or even when you're happy, you're really solidifying that message to yourself so that months down the road you can look back and be like, I'm not feeling very happy right now. I feel like my life's always been this dark. Is that true or not? And you can look back, oh, last month I felt the same way. The month before, I felt the same way. And then you realize maybe I need to change something with my life. Or maybe you're like, I'm feeling unhappy, and you look back and you go, no, I'm just crazy, it's my birth control, or whatever it is that's making you crazy that day, and you realize your relationship's fine. So make that diary so you can figure that out for yourself. Another tip, get a therapist. I know it sounds so terrible, like you're a crazy person, why would you get a therapist? I'm telling you, if you look out there at who the most happiest people are in this world, I promise you, they all have therapists. It takes a whole team, a whole support system to make one person happy and really sort out what's going on in his or her head. You can't do it alone. If you need help finding a therapist, you're welcome to contact our office, and we have a list of therapists that we can put you in contact with. Another thing that really helped me, which many people don't do, is interview people that you know that are in happy relationships. When I was about to get married, I interviewed my mom and I interviewed my friends that I saw were in really happy marriages. And I asked them, do you always feel like divorce is inevitable? Because that's how I feel. And they said no. They said that they actually had this peace of mind and comfort that the two of them were able to, dissolve stress and work things out and get through it because of their compatibility and how much joy and fun they were able to create the majority of time. That certainly there are hard times, and certainly those discussions have been had. They have had thoughts about divorce, but they've never really wanted to act on it because of this overpowering desire to stay with each other and this overpowering belief that they would stay together, and because they continue to make each other happy. Another thing happy couples told me was that they're not all the time depressed. They're not fighting all the time. That sure, there's been stints where they fight over things, but through these fights, they really learn how to better communicate with each other and how to get through stressful times together. And that was really important for me to learn, because at the time, me and the person I was with were just nonstop fighting. And no matter how much we tried to communicate each other because we loved each other, no matter how much therapy we did, couples therapy, it wasn't working. And it's really hard to admit to yourself or your partner that you're failing, that your relationship's failed, that there's nothing you can do about it. And that it can be hard to really admit it to yourself, but once you get to that phase where you've done your investigations, you've created your diary for yourself, you've interviewed the people that you believe are in happy relationships, you've gone to therapy to make sure your craziness is being handled by a third party, then you can really be honest with yourself and make that decision. Are you in a relationship where you're generally happy and you just need to calm down your craziness because maybe you, like me, can be kind of neurotic or anxious? Or is it the other thing? Are you habitually being brought down by the person you're with, where you're realizing that your life's not going to be happy if you stay with that person? Is that person yelling at you? Is he or she yelling at your kids? Is that person treating you with respect or disrespect? Do you and that person do the same things together that make you happy? Do you both like the same things? Or are you into such separate things that it's really hard to find common ground with an activity that will make you both happy? I read an article recently about how to choose the right life partner, because you can tell it's something I really care about. And I actually learned that one of the top characteristics in a partner that's going to work out for a happy marriage is agreeableness. I mean, are any of us looking for that? I don't think so. So keep that in mind. Agreeableness is one of the main factors, and also a lack of, neuroticism. That was the second one. So these are things we should all be looking for. In addition, to tall, dark, and handsome, or whatever we're looking for, we need to look a little deeper, right? What's going on inside the heart and what will really be compatible for us. So I hope this video is helpful to you, and I hope you all find somebody that makes you as happy as you believe you should deserve, because self-care should always be first.